All right, Brandon, I'm going to ask you this question because I know you're a content creator. As a content creator and a fisherman, would you rather have 1 million followers on your social media platform or catch a world record bass?
I'd rather catch a world record bass over the million followers.
My guy. I'll ask you, I kind of want to ask you again because I know for those that, are maybe not that in tune with, what 1 million followers goes helps out a content creator. That's you can live out of that. That's for all intended purposes, that's your full time job. Like the amount of sponsorship dollars you would get, it's like I'm fishing from the rest for the rest of my career. I can quit my day job. So you honestly rather have that working bass than 1 million followers?
Yep, and I'll tell you why.
Why?
Specifically because it's a common misconception that people have that if I have all these followers, then I'm going to make all this money on social media, and the reality of that is just simply not true. Um, the cold hard truth of and the fact of the matter is that you need to have real connections with your followers. You don't need 1 million followers to fish full time. You don't to be a social media personality full time and use social media as your primary source of income. You don't need 1 million followers to do that. You don't need 100,000 followers to do that. You don't need 10,000 followers to do that. The reality of it is that we'll break this number down into an even smaller number. If you had 100 people buying a $20 product from you every single month on a same basis, repetitive basis, a scheduled subscription based basis, $20 times 20 times 100 is what?
Oh, don't make me do math at this time. 20 times 100, 2,000?
Yeah,
I'm
it's
just,
two. It's
I got it
2,000.
right.
Well, no, that's wrong. It's 20,000. All
Oh,
right.
20,000. My
No,
bad.
no, no, it's not that much. It's not that much. Let me do it. Let me pull it
I
up
don't
on
think it's
calculator
that much.
because I'm on the spot right now, so the number ain't clicking. 20 times it's 2,000.
Okay, yeah.
It's $2,000 a month. Now imagine that's 100 people. Now scale that to 1,000 people. You got 20. You got 1,000 people buying a $20 product from you, month in, month out. That's $20,000 a month in residual income that's coming in every single day, every single month, guaranteed money. So, not saying that I make $20,000 a month because I don't from fishing. Um, but at the same time, people have this common misconception that if they need all of these followers to do, to be able to do this social media personality or be a online influencer or whatever you want to
Mm.
call it, to do it from a full-time capacity, when the reality of it, that's just not true. You don't need all those followers. And the thing is that the 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 world of social media is changing day in and
Yep.
day out. Brands are starting to learn that the numbers don't really mean anything at the end of the day. There are people out here that have 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 100,000, 200, 300,000 followers that literally make no money from this at all. They make no money whatsoever from social media, and they have all these followers because the reality of it is that they can't sell a product at the end of the day. They might have this giant platform, but they don't have the business sense or the capacity to actually put product in front of their audience and generate sales from it because they don't know how to do it. They they just don't have the ability to do so, and they don't have the ability to do so on a consistent basis. So I would tell people that are focused on the numbers, don't focus on the numbers. If you're in social media and you're working on trying to grow a social media platform or build a brand on social media, don't worry about the numbers at the end of the day. Focus on creating great content for the people that already support you. Focus on building great relationships with those people that already support you, because those are the ones that are really going to take your business and your brand to the next level. Those are the ones that are going to support you through thick and thin. Focus on communicating and building a bond with those people, and making yourself available to those people so that they can trust and count on the things that you tell them. So at the end of the day, whenever it comes time for you to start a clothing brand or a makeup company or sell fishing lures or whatever it may be, they know that they can trust the things that you're putting out there on the market as great products, and that they would be more than willing to buy them and support you from doing so.
Yeah. And I agree. And I can attest to that you're that type of person. And I really want to go deep into that. But I also wanted to give you a chance, and the main reason why I brought you here. And by the way, little kind of like pause station identification kind of thing. We are listening to the Bass Kayak and Beers podcast. This is the real life with your boy Armando and my special guest, that bass fishing dude, Brandon Mays. Remember, you can follow us on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook, and YouTube on the Bass Kayak and Beers. And if you're listening on our MP3 format on whatever podcast platform that you use, and we are all of them, please remember to give us your 5-star reviews. It really does help out with the growth of the podcast. Brandon, going back to you, the reason why I really want to get you here, we talk a little bit about the balancing between fishing and social media and content creation and all that. But one of the things that I appreciate you, and you just touched on it, on building human connections. You do something every year for the last, I want to say, 4 or 5 years.
This is the 4th year.
The 4th year of the Autism Awareness Campaign that you run in April. I know I'm repping last year's.
Yeah, man.
For the last 2 years, I've supported that since I've met you, and I think it's a great cause. And I want my listeners, whoever's listening, to find out more about what you're doing, how does it help, and where, if they want to, can help you achieve what you're trying to do with this charity.
Yeah, man, absolutely. So, for those that don't know, I've done an autism awareness campaign for the last 3 years. This is now the 4th year in a row that we have done this autism awareness campaign. My son is on the autism spectrum. He's 16, going on 17 years old this year. I've worked with special needs kids since my days in the military, volunteering for Special Olympics, coaching Special Olympics, mentoring, all different types of special needs children from all different sides of the spectrum, whether that's Down syndrome, Asperger's, autism, you name it. I've worked with all kinds of kids on that spectrum from all different age categories, from little bitty kids up to teenagers. And so, autism is something that, has affected my daily life for years, decades. And it's something that I'm very passionate about. So with that, whenever I started, doing this online social media personality, that bass fishing dude, when that was incepted, and I started to grow a large platform, and again, building those human connections with my followers and the people that support me. I wanted to find a way to give back to my community, and through my social media and things like that, I wanted to do it in a way that would benefit people the most, where I could put something out there that my following could help support, and bring awareness to the world of autism, and we could also help benefit somebody in my community. Well, for the last 3 years, this is the 4th year, we've partnered with a local nonprofit right here in DFW that supports teens and young adults on the autism spectrum. That organization is a 501c nonprofit. That's Austin's Autistic Adventures. And they do everything from job shadowing to day trips to you name it. I mean, literally anything. But again, it's a nonprofit, so they completely run off of donations. And how I got involved with Austin's Autistic Adventures is I work, for people that don't know, I work a full-time corporate job outside of social media fishing. I work at Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers at the headquarters over here in Plano. And we had a guy that worked up there with us that actually came from that organization. And one day the org was up there doing a little, just an office tour. And I got connected with the founder. And I wanted to find a way that I could help support them. And we came up with the idea that I would do a t-shirt campaign. And so for the last 3 years, we have designed a custom t-shirt that's limited edition that you can only get during the month of April, because April is Autism Awareness Month. And each year that shirt is different. It's never the same t-shirt. The design is always different. And we donate 100% of the profits made from that shirt to that organization. And to date, we have raised over $16,000 for that organization through this t-shirt campaign. And we've beaten our goal every single year, raised more and more money each year over the last 3 years, and hoping to beat that goal again this year, and raise even more money for them. And it's been an awesome thing because a lot of people ask, well, why Austin's Autistic Adventures? And the reality of it is because sure, we could have partnered with some huge national brand, Autism Speaks, or any of these other big national nonprofits that are out here that support people on the autism spectrum. But the truth is that those orgs they make millions of dollars on an annual basis in donations. So any money that we raise for them, while it would be beneficial, it would be a drop in the bucket, and we would never see the benefits of that money go to use. So finding an organization that's right here in my community in DFW, that myself, being my son, and so many other people in the DFW area that are familiar with me, that their children can benefit from as well. We get to immediately see that money go to work. And that's what was important for me, is that I wanted to take this money that we raise, and I wanted to put it in the hands of an organization that I can actually see that money being used and put to good use. So we chose Austin's Autistic Adventures, and again, we've worked with them for this is the 4th year in a row that we've done this, and we've raised a ton of money for them. And look forward to continuing to raising money for them, because I mean, this campaign it's a lot of fun to do. And like Armando said, he's wearing last year's shirt, which was probably our most popular T-shirt of any campaign that we've ever done. And again, it's a limited edition shirt. You can only get it during the month of April, and once that's over with, that's it. The shirt doesn't come back out again. But we've got a new shirt this year, and last year's shirt was "See the Able, Not the Label." We did like a new breast logo on the front, and we did the logo on the back this time. And it's basically it's different, not less. And but the T-shirt is always surrounding fishing in some way, shape, or form, and specifically kayak fishing, because I'm a paddler. That's what I do. I'm a paddle sports angler, so it's always focused on kayak fishing or some type of fishing in general, but obviously incorporates autism and autism awareness into it. But we have a T-shirt and a hoodie that's out there for people to purchase and support. And again, we donate 100% of the profits made from that shirt. We don't keep any of it. It all goes to them. I can't hear you.
I was muted here for a second. It's a local organization here in Texas, which we appreciate, and people that are out of state can still donate and help out, buy shirts. They also donate directly. I know you got it set up on your Instagram account, and I can attest that I know that all the money goes. This is not something that because I know there's a lot of scams out there. And of course, somebody that's listening to the podcast for the first time, or now heard from that bass fishing dude, Brander's May charity event, obviously is going to have questions, as anybody should when you're donating to money to our charitable organization. You want to make sure it goes where it needs to go. What I love about it, and you touched on it, is when it goes to, and I'm not pointing fingers at any in particular, but obviously there are some big organizations that's just to laundry money, and most of the money goes to the employees than the actual um, people that need it. But in
Yeah.
this case, it is a local organization, and we seen what they do, and everybody knows that organization here that has kids in the spectrum, and they really does help out. I think you touched on it, because I know I was a little bit distracted trying to share the screen. You also have a way, if people, if they don't want to buy a shirt, maybe they don't have the $30, but they are willing to donate maybe a few dollars if they can't afford the shirt. I know with the inflation right now, a lot of people are tied up financially. How can people also donate if they
Yeah,
want to donate?
they don't even have to specifically donate directly to me. They can always just go to the Austin's Autistic Adventures website, and they can just make a donation there directly to the organization. They can say it's on behalf of themselves and that bass fishing dude through his autism campaign or whatever, or they can just make the donation there on their own. Or the simplest form of support is just sharing the campaign. A lot of people, I get it, money is tight. People don't always have money to support, but again, it's an autism awareness campaign. It's about bringing awareness to this organization, what's going on, what they're doing, and how we can support them. So the simplest form of support is just share the campaign. I would love it if everybody purchased a t-shirt or a hoodie and, rocked that hoodie and took a photo of it and posted it on their social and shared it or wore it around their family and friends and things like that. That's awesome. That's great. But if that's not something that you're into, just share the campaign. That's always great. But people can learn about the campaign and the impact that we've made, on my website. You can go to that bassfishingdude.com and there's a green banner at the top of the website that allows you to click on it, and it'll take you to the page where it outlines everything that I basically just explained about the campaign, and you can see all the photos from when we do the big check presentation. We do in the summertime, we actually take that same organization out, and we do what's called the TVFD Gang Autism Day on the Water, where we actually take that entire organization and their families out, and we put them on the water in kayaks. Thanks to my awesome brand partners, we put this huge day together, and we get them out on a private lake, get a bunch of kayaks from Mariner Sales, and we get food brought in and all these other things, and we take them out to this lake, and we give them a crash course in paddle sports, and we put them on a kayak and set them free and let them rock and roll. And it's super awesome. We film it, and we document it and share it with the world so that people can see the impact that those donations make, and the people that purchase the shirts, they get to see exactly where that money is going, and that's what makes it fun.
And by the way, shout out to Private Waters Fishing, because I think they either match or donated. I think it was like $2,500.
Yep.
I think last year. Shout out to
Both years. So the last 3 years they've actually contributed an additional. So the first 2 years they matched, but because the third year we completely blew the previous years out of the water, they're like, well, we can't continue to match it, but we'll continue to throw $2,500 at it. So shout out to Steve and Private Water Fishing, those guys over there, for always supporting the campaign, and really grateful for them and the help that they always throw in over there.
And again, we appreciate you, Brandon, for what you do, not just for the in the space of bass fishing and kayak bass fishing, but also what you do for the community. It helps us out both on and off the water, and I think that's great. I think more content creators can use their platform for that, because even though it doesn't cost you, maybe it won't cost you literally money, because the donations are going to this organization, but it's still an effort. You design your own shirts, right? This is not something that you just buy or pay somebody to design it. You take the time to get in your computer and put your own design in it, which I think it's awesome, because it shows the heart. And there's nothing wrong with somebody wants to do something, maybe like, hey, I want to do something for this person, with this organization. I don't have the time, so I'm just gonna, hire, a company, or just throw in a charity tournament and let the money go through PayPal and whatever. And again, I understand that, I respect that. You're still doing something, but in your case, what I really do appreciate it is that you are putting the heart in it by actually designing this.
Yep.
This is not a copy paste kind of charity. This is, and again, there's nothing wrong if somebody wants to do a charity and all they can do with their time is do something like that, where it's just like, hey, just quick, kind of generic, but it does get some money and it does help out, do it. But in your case, you are able, your platform has afforded you the opportunity to take the time and put the heart into it. And I think that is amazing. I think that's awesome, and I really appreciate it. I wanted to talk to you and go back to what you were saying about not just numbers. Having a social media platform is not just about numbers. And for anybody that listened to that, I want to attest to something. You and I met through kind of social media aside. And I remember you asking you help about how to grow and asking you questions. And you took the time to give me a lengthy explanation. Like, you didn't do anything for me, or you just said like, hey, this is what you need to do, and this is how you do it. Let me check out your page. And you took the time to check out my page and tell me, hey, this is what you're doing right. This is what you need to get better at. And I think that has made a connection. The first time you and I met in person, I don't know if you remember this, You
Yeah,
actually approached me and you recognized me. Well, obviously I recognized you from afar.
yeah, man.
That was kind of obvious. Not many 7-footers out there on a kayak, but you did recognize me before I even get a chance to say, "Hey, Brandon, I met I'm so and so. I met you. You instantly recognized me, came up to me and said hi, and I thought that was nice, and I appreciate the fact that you're that type of content creator that kind of values your interactions with the people that follow you and want advice and are fan of what you're doing.
Yeah,
That
man.
really shows the love for it. And not a lot of content creators, a lot of, and again, I'm not pointing out fingers at anybody in particular, but the reality is people just go like, hey, this is trending, I'm going to do this, not necessarily because you love it, but because it's trending, and that's it. It's all about getting that cash flow in and getting that recognition versus like yourself, you actually love what you're doing, and not only do you love what you're doing, you love sharing it, and you love meeting new people on the water.
100%, man. And that's what makes the fishing industry so great, and that's what I love about the space. Being in the military, coming from the military, and getting into fishing, getting back into fishing, especially on the level that I'm into it. It's the closest thing that I can compare to being in the military. There's this real, very real sense of camaraderie, brotherhood, sisterhood, in fishing. And it's a blast, man. Like I absolutely do love the interactions that I have with the people that support me. I mean, I've made some of my best friends, outside of the military from this space. Charlie and other guys that I've met out here, that I have an incredible relationship with, because of fishing. We are all here doing the same thing, chasing these awesome green fish and whatever else swims. And just doing it for the love of fishing, because that's really what it's about at the end of the day. And making these real connections with people is important. And taking that time out, to give feedback or to have a sit down and have a conversation with people, even if it takes 15-20 minutes of your day, to sit down and have a conversation with somebody that reaches out to you. Because the reality of it is you never know what that person's going through at the end of the day. You could literally be talking that person off of a ledge, and it's like, I know that, because of my status, through social media, that I do have a sense of celebrity, I guess. And but I don't let that stuff go to my head. I'm still a person at the end of the day, and I enjoy, talking to people at the same time. But I understand that, those conversations are important because, having somebody that you can reach out to, especially somebody that you look up to, somebody that you consider to be a role model, that you reach out to them and they reach back out to you and they have a conversation with you. It can be, it can change a lot of things for you, just in the way that you think about stuff, or the way that, you might be going through a problem or something may be going on. And, you kind of forget about that stuff because, I've had those conversations with people, just on social media. Like somebody will reach out to me and DM me about something they got going on, and we'll sit there and the conversation will pivot to something else and then into a new something else. And, next thing you know, 30 minutes has passed. And at the end of the conversation, they're like, man, I never would have thought in a million years that you would have even responded to me, let alone had this full blown conversation with me, man. And I just really appreciate that. And I'm just like, yeah, man, I respond to everybody, because again, I know it's important, but that's part of, building that personal relationship with the people that support you, because those people become diehard fans of yours. Those people will literally follow you through the fire at the end of the day. And those are the kind of people that you want to support your brand and to really be following you at the end of the day. People that really and truly rock with what you do. And but at the same time, with that comes a great responsibility, and that is to be doing the right thing out here, all the time, making sure that you're making the right decisions, that you're not out here being a freaking turd and all kinds of other stuff. Just be a good person at the end of the day, and and create good content for the people that rock with you. That's what's important.
I
Give
know
them
it's not.
give them something to look up to. That's what
Yeah,
it's about.
I think that's important, and I think how you conduct yourself in social media to me is important. Like I've seen like a lot of people just hold the clickbait thing, or try to act in a way that's going to attract people just because of the shock value of it and not really the content side of it. I don't like I one of the things that, and I'm gonna go on a tangent here. One of the things that I don't like, I really hate, and I hate that they get so popular is outside of fishing content is those content, and not all of them. Some of them are cool and lighthearted and make people laugh, and other ones, but other ones are just like, dude, you're going out there and being a jerk and probably ruin somebody's day at work because you want the algorithms.
Yep.
Let's go get a job, honestly.
Clicks,
Like
clicks and
people
likes.
like that, it's just go get a job.
Yep.
Stop annoying the heck out of people. And I mean not all of them. There are some that are lighthearted and they get a chuckle out of the people they're kind of pranking, and some of them actually have like they'll give them a prize or something, which I think that's fine. But some of them, like the other day, I've never even heard of this content creator, but the one that got shot in the abdomen, because it's so funny. I was watching Saturday Night Live and they talk about this content creator. Have you ever seen the weekend update with Saturday Night Live with um, Che and Colin Jost? It's hilarious. If you
No, I
haven't
haven't seen
watched
that.
it,
I'll have to check it out.
it's hilarious. It's fake news, but the actually real news is they were talking about this guy who social media, which is true. This just happened like 2 weeks ago. The guy got shot pranking somebody on the street in a way that it's like, yeah, that's not, you kind of being a jerk.
Yeah,
and I
I've never really been into that stuff. I mean, I'll be honest with you, man. Like, I really feel like short form content, TikTok, reels, shorts and all of that kind of stuff, where people, the Vine stuff has really been kind of the downfall of social media.
Yeah,
I really do believe that. It's 99% of the stuff that's on there is just literal mindless stuff. It brings zero value to anyone. Even the entertainment value of it is very, very minimal. Sure, some of the stuff is, like you said, good, clean hearted fun. Some of it is funny, and some of the stuff that's on there is useful, like the people that, make the TikToks for like the cooking stuff, like, those really cool recipes for like sometimes the food looks crazy good, I mean, just random stuff or how to fix something, like an actual real life hack, not just something, oh, here's a life hack for you and it's shake up this can type stupid thing. Like, but 99% of the crap that's out there on the internet is stupid. Like, it's just completely mindless BS.
I actually think it makes you stupider to
It
watch it.
does
Like
100%.
I'm feeding my mind with junk right now, and it's like one of the things that I started using TikTok, and I've kind of hardly stopped posting on it because it is, dude, it'll get you. And then I'm like, I just wasted 10, 15, 20 minutes watching reels that are literally junk,
And you get nothing
filling
from
my
them.
mind with junk.
Yep,
You
you
know,
get
and
nothing from them.
nothing from it. No, just probably bad thoughts or anger. Sometimes some of them just make me angry. And I'm like, I'm getting angry at watching this reel. This is stupid. But you know what I do appreciate about you, Brandon, is, and we talk all the time. We talk on a weekly basis and we talk about trends and all that. And you're one of those content creators that refuse to follow a trend unless you think it's useful. Like you were probably the last content creator in kayak bass fishing to put out a reel because you didn't see the value on it. And now you kind of do, but kind of like in the way that I do it as well is just reels of me fishing. I'm not one, maybe once or twice I'll put something funny that I find funny
Yep.
that I'll share or I'll make it myself. But what I like about you is that you're not chasing what's trending, which is what they always tell you in social media. It's like look for what's trending, and you're like, no, I'm gonna
Yeah.
look for what my heart and what I love and I want to share. Either people like it or they don't, but it's gonna be mine. It's gonna be genuine, and it's not gonna be trending.
Yep, dude. Instagram literally shut my reach and my growth off. Literally, just like flipped a switch. Doop, you're done. Because I wouldn't create reels. Like, I literally refused to make them because when they came out, I was like, this is literally stupid. Like, this is just dumb. And the reason why it's so dumb is because it's really, really difficult to make meaningful content in 15 seconds. It's really, really, especially in the fishing space. Like, short form content is great for certain things, but is not a one size fits all type thing. It
Yeah.
doesn't fit. It doesn't fit every industry. It doesn't fit every niche. And that's something that a lot of people really just don't understand. You know, Instagram basically held everybody, everybody's reach and growth hostage until they started making reels. Like I literally watched somebody grow from 20,000 followers on Instagram to well over 100,000 in a matter of 3 or 4 months from just posting reels. This person literally was a fisherman that doesn't even fish anymore. This person went from actually fishing, actually being on the water and actually fishing, to standing in his room at his house in front of a green screen pretending to fish and
I know.
and making reels,
I know what you're
all
talking about. I think.
all for the sake of growth. And
Yeah.
it's like that is absolutely idiotic to me. It's
Yeah.
idiotic. It is pure stupidity that you would go from actually physically being outdoors and fishing to standing in front of a green screen pretending to fish in order to make funny videos so that you can continue to grow.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
It's
And
dumb. But
and I'll
these
tell you what, I'm not gonna hate on it. Hey, if that's your if that's their definition of success and that's what you want to do,
Yeah,
go ahead and do it.
yeah,
As long as you're not harming anybody, go ahead and do it. Hey, and I seen but I kind of figure I think I know who you're talking about, and I find it funny, but I remember I think if it's the same account we're talking about, that person kind of went on a soapbox, kind of offended because people were questioning whether he does fish or not, or whether he's a good fisherman.
yeah.
I'm like,
Outside
you
of that,
you you can't bake. If you're gonna bake a cake, you can't have your cake and eat it too. I guess that's
yeah,
the cliche that I'm
eh,
looking for. In this case, is like if that's all you're providing, comedy relief, 15 seconds of you, like you're saying, be on a green screen making funny videos, then you're gonna be known as a comedian. You're
mhm.
not going to be respected as a fisherman. And if you're okay with that, I'm okay with it too.
Awesome.
Hey,
More power to
I'll
you all
follow
day.
you. I'll share your reels. If that's what you want to do, dude, I'll help you in any way I can because that's what you're to do. But don't complain that you're not respected as a fisherman. If you're
Yep,
not actually posting videos of you fishing,
yep. But
you can't
another
have your
piece of
cake and
that,
eat it too. Yeah.
but another
Go ahead.
piece of that, another big reason why a lot of people were really, jumping on that Reels train is because Instagram was paying creators
Yeah.
for a very long time. I mean, you could make quite a bit of money from posting reels, especially if your reels were going, micro viral or super viral. Like, I since the inception of reels, Instagram has tried to pay me to do reels. So they would send me a reels bonus. Basically, they
Yeah. I
would be
got
like,
that
"We'll
too.
we'll pay you early on it was we'll give you $1,000. They won't give you $1,000. You obviously have to reach a certain amount of views to get the entire reels bonus. But they'll be like, in 30 days you can make $1,000 if you get 20 million views on your reels. You got to post 150 reels, and if you get 20 million views, you'll max out your reels bonus. You get $1,000. Well, I never posted any reels, and so a couple months of that same $1,000 reels bonus. Hey, you do this month, you get $1,000. Well, then they upped it to $8,500. Still didn't post no reels. And then if I did post a reel, like it would literally, again, something of value. Like I'm not gonna just be over here making a fool of myself, for the sake of some clicks and some likes and a few $100s. And so the few real, like they would be like cast to catch related stuff or something like that. And my reels bonus would always tap out at like 80 to $100. That's all that I would ever make from it. But people like that guy were maxing that reels bonus out every single month, and others like him maxing that reels bonus out every single month. So sure, there is some value to them doing it, but it's money. They're making money from it because again, they've got these big followings, but they're not getting money from anywhere else. They don't have brand partnerships where they're being paid, substantial amounts of money, to make specific posts about anything or anything like that. They're being paid from Instagram. Well, guess what? Instagram just took that Reels bonus away. They're not paying creators anymore to make Reels. So now these people are like, well, crap, what am I going to do now? I got this big following. They don't know how to pivot that into a business that actually generates revenue for them because they basically work themselves into a hole where you don't, they really have to have some type of skill set to be able to do that. So again, if you're that person that's out there that went from fishing to making videos standing in front of a green screen of you pretending to fish, brands are not going to reach out to you to be like, hey, use our product and we'll pay you for this, or hey, we're
Catch
going
go,
to send
mate.
you. Yeah. Yeah. And but it's like that's the thing, man. Like, there's no opportunities for these guys or girls to really get out here and really make good use of themselves and their platforms, because they wasted it away doing stupid crap, because they were chasing likes and clicks. And again, none of that stuff means anything at the end of the day. And brands realize that. Brands have started to learn, and they've started to catch on to this. I've been, fortunate enough to be able to work with literally the biggest and best brands in the industry, man. I'm super thankful for the partners that I have and the people that I'm connected to and that I'm able to work with. But we have these conversations all the time, and they are very, very aware and have come to the realization that the numbers on social media literally mean nothing. Dude, the vast majority of people's platforms, especially these people with these gigantic platforms, 70, 80, 90, 100,000, 200,000, 300,000, a good 60, 70% of those accounts are bots that follow them. They're not even real people, So it's like, they understand that, these social media platforms have diminished people's reach bubble, their ability to actually reach real people, unless you pay for it. And even whenever you pay for it, there's no guarantee that you're even in that situation reaching a real person. Companies and brands understand that now. They're starting to learn that. So it's even more difficult for influencers. I hate that term. I hate being called an influencer, even though I know that I have influence. I hate being called an influencer, but it's even more difficult nowadays for influencers to secure great brand partnerships. Even if they do have these large followings, it's tough, because brands know they look for people that have real connections with their followings, with their platforms, because those are the people that are going to be able to help them actually convert those followers into customers at the end of the day.
Yeah, and that's a good point, because I think a lot of it, I think it's shifting now. I think even for companies, when you looked at commercials on TVs, which was pretty much, when talking about entertainment, the only way, decade ago, was that's pretty much the only way to get a reach, right? You put a commercial, you have an advertising company tells you, your targeted audience, what shows do they watch and what times, and then you try to book a commercial on that. Now it's different. Now people, I firmly believe, in less than 10 years from now, cable TV is going to be gone. It's all going to be streaming services.
Yep.
And now you have like YouTube is, even if they don't have their own TV shows, they do have, those follow like Mr. Beast and all that have, literally hundreds of
Hundreds of
thousands of
millions,
people. Yeah.
hundreds of millions, not thousands,
Watching.
hundreds of
Yeah.
millions.
And I
But
think companies are starting to understand that now. It's like, hey, wait a minute. There's one thing if somebody has 100,000 followers, but the content is based on something that is more comic relief than actually fishing. Then those companies like Pure One Fishing, Abu Garcia, Berkeley's, all those companies, they're not going to reach out to you if you're building, you know, a comedic relief kind of thing, or reels or whatever it is that you do. And again, I'm not hating on it. If your definition of success is getting a million views on a 10-15 second video of just doing dumb comedy, slap knee comedy, then that's fine. As long as you're not hurting anybody, go for it, man. Like I said, I'll like your videos, I'll share them if I think they're funny. But you can't just think that that's the way you're going to get into the real money, as far as getting into like companies that are going to sponsor you, like Pure Fishing, Z-Man, those companies, Shimano, they're going to look for people that are either competing or actually more content creator, but actually putting content out there that people are interested in, either because you're teaching somebody or because the editing and the videos that you're showing out there are well done,
Yep.
quality, and are
Quality over quantity.
engaging. Yeah.
Quality over quantity. But another big piece of this though is something that a lot of people really don't realize, and I really think that this is also just because of the way that social media is today. It's so accessible to everyone.
Yeah.
And it's so easy for people to have access to social media, and it's so easy for anyone at any moment to go viral on social media. A lot of people really don't understand and realize this, that everybody cannot be that person on social media. Everybody is not going to be able to be an influencer. Everybody is not going to be able to make a living from social media. Everybody is not going to be able to do social media full time. It's the reality of it is it's impossible. Nope, you can't. That's not the way that it works. Brands don't have the ability to pay everybody to represent their brand, because if everybody is an influencer, who is going to buy the product?
Yeah.
So and a secondary to that is people don't really understand how difficult it is to do this. Like they see just the outside of what we as social media personalities, those of us that do work with brands and things like that, they see the end result of all of that, us out here having fun. And and don't get me wrong, it's fun. From everything for me is fun, because if it's not fun, I'm not doing it. But they see the end result of what we've completed. They don't see all the hard work that went on behind the scenes of scheduling these brand shoots, going out here and actually putting that stuff together, building out a shot list, putting the product in the right place where it needs to be, talking about the product in the right way, or just doing everything that it takes to put out a quality piece of content that again inspires you, the customer, to go and spend your money, your hard-earned money, on this product at the end of the day. And that's not to say that I am personally a salesman, because I'm not. I never got into this space to become a salesman. I don't make salesy type posts. That's not something that I'm into or anything like that. But my brand partners that I work with, I have built relationships with them where they know that I genuinely love the products that I use. I genuinely love the partners that I work with. So my followers and the people that support me, they know that if they see me using something, they know that it is a quality piece of equipment, or it is something that is quality, that they could and should spend their hard-earned money on, that they can trust and believe anything that comes out of my mouth or anything that they see me doing is not some BS. And that's what's really important. It's not always about coming out here trying to be some used car salesman, trying to get everybody, hey, you need to go buy this, hey, you need to go buy that, hey, you should be using this, hey, you should be doing that. It's not about that. At the end of the day, you don't have to do that. But again, everybody is not going to be able to do this. People think that, oh, I can just wake up tomorrow and I can jump on social media and I can grow 10,000 followers, 20,000 followers, 100,000 followers, and I'll be good. I'll be able to make 50, 60, $70,000 a year from doing whatever, whether it's makeup, hair, beauty, dance, or any of this stuff, fishing. Because the reality of it is it ain't gonna happen. I mean, it's not. Maybe 5 years ago you probably had a higher opportunity to do something like that, but with the way that social media is changing today, and it's getting worse and worse as the days go on, those opportunities are few and far between out here, like seriously. So if you don't just enjoy being on social media and just looking at stuff and enjoying other people's stuff, high probability is you're not going to be able to get on here and turn this into a brand or a business or anything like that, and find any fruitful use of any of it. So, yeah.
And one of the things that I appreciate about what you're doing right now, there's a lot of things with the Patreon page, right? That you can, and even Instagram now, it's kind of trending towards OnlyFans kind
Subscription
of count.
based.
Yeah, some Christian based, which again, I don't hate it if you're bringing actually something of value to your listeners or your followers, and you want to charge for it or something, whatever it is, if you want to get creative. I know some of them are really good at bringing something extra and bringing something of value. That's fine. I know you and I had talked about it, and you're like, I am not doing that because people follow me, and people that follow you want to see what you got to offer, what you're showing out there. Why am I going to charge them now for their
Yeah,
loyalty?
yeah. Why?
That's
Like and the thing about it is, like, we'll use the subscription service that's on Instagram, for instance. That subscription service that's on Instagram that, people offer to their followers for $3, $2, $5, whatever it is. I don't even know how much a month it is. I think you can only go up to like $10 a month or something like
Yeah.
that.
I think it's 99 cents, $4.99, and $9.99, something like that.
Something like that. But the offerings of what you're able to give to your followers is basically like, you can give them subscriber only posts or subscriber only stories or things like this. And it's like, what could you possibly be providing to your following that is anything of value in a post or a story that you haven't posted on your regular page? Because a lot of it is just stuff like people will create like I'll have this post that I'm not going to share with the rest of my followers, like a picture of a fish or something. Or, I mean, I'm just using fishing because we fish, but, whatever it may be. I don't know what they're sharing most of the time because, I don't subscribe to any of these people because, again, most of the stuff that they post on a regular basis is not even of value. So why would I subscribe to them and pay them for more postings of something that's not necessarily of value? And again, this probably comes across as me sounding like a hater or something like that. And I'm not hating at all.
No, but I agree with you.
On anybody that's getting their money out there. But again, it's like, I think about that type of stuff and it's like, I just don't understand it. I don't understand people's thought process or mindset behind it. And, why they have these subscription services in the first place where, what really of value are you really providing to them? And, and I have some really good friends that have, some of these subscription services that have really large and very, very successful, fishing brands, et cetera, that have a subscription service on Instagram. And I had a conversation with one of them not too long ago. And I asked him, I was like, you said you're going to do this subscription service. And I was like, why? What is it that you're going to do that's going to provide value, outside of what you're already doing? Because you already put content out there that provides a lot of value to people. So what would you do differently that's going to provide substantially more value that somebody would be willing to pay for? And they're like, well, I would use that as an opportunity to put out, very, very specific and more in-depth videos of what I already put out there. Like, say, for instance, I'll go, super deep dive onto something and also give people an opportunity to speak with me one-on-one, to learn more about something. And I'm like, okay, I can understand that. I can see how, with your brand and your following, how that could be beneficial to someone. But it's like, at the same time, why do you feel that you need to charge people for that? And he's like, well, for me, it's because, I dedicate a lot of time to doing this, and, taking that time out to actually speak with people, is time consuming, et cetera. And then, then I had my rebuttal because obviously I work a full-time corporate job. I got 3 kids, a wife, I got 4 dogs, but at the same time, I have no problems with responding to 20,000 people if they reach out to me, for any one reason or not. And I would never charge them for that time. So I couldn't understand, again, it doesn't make any sense to me. Now if you're selling a product, like literally selling something, a physical product that those people are going to take home and keep and use forever. That's one thing. I can totally understand that, but, just the aspect of selling content to people, it makes no sense to me, man. And,
I appreciate like if you're gonna do something like you mentioned, let's say you have your merch, right? You have some awesome t-shirts, by the way. The one that's kind of like um the copy of not the copy, I'm using the right term, so feel free to correct me and if I've offended you with the word copy, but like the buckets shirt, that's one of my favorite. I get so much compliment when I wear that t-shirt. Like, let's say you're like, hey, you subscribe for certain amount of month with a 1.99 cents, whatever, and you at the end you get at the end of this month or the quarter, whatever, you get this free shirt or free hat, my brand. I think that's good. Okay, yeah, you're not going to give out, that's fine, that I think that's fair. But it's just like, I'm not going to engage with you unless you pay me. Kind of goes against the nature of.
Absolutely. It's
in my opinion.
Yeah,
I respect anybody that disagrees. And if you're doing it that way and that's the way you feel like doing it, I understand the other side of it. I understand also, and I'll defend, content creators that are doing that in that aspect. If you can either have, you are dedicated, and it takes hours to it takes 8 hours to go out there and catch 5 fish, and then and then you get home, edit the video. The equipment itself is it's thousands of dollars. You go home, editing equipment is a lot of it is monthly subscription to edit the video and put it out nice. It takes thousands of dollars, even just to make videos on whether it's real YouTube, as a large content creator. And I get that. And if you don't want to saturate your page by bringing in kind of like commercial types, like me selling, hey, check out this product, and you want to say, hey, instead of doing that, if you want to support me and you don't want to see ads, just here's the Patreon page. That I can kind of understand, because you're saying, hey, listen, I'm not taking money to put ads, because I'm not gonna saturate you with ads on my content. But I would appreciate it if you kind of help me out. And I respect that. I respect that in a way. And I think everybody, content creators, takes their own decision, as long as you're doing something that it's uplifting to the community and it helps the growth organically. Then I'm all for it. I just we have different views on it. Now I wanted to touch a little bit on, because I know as a content creator, you thrive to show that you're not just creating content, and you yourself fish what is now the Texas Kayak Bass League. And boy, have you had your struggles. I remember in the Lone Star Throwdown, your kayak broke down, the drive on your kayak broke down. I know there was another tournament that something went completely wrong. And Cato, I can't remember if it was Cato. And then I remember the one that your whole truck went underneath the water.
Yeah, man.
And I respect you. I know there was the trolls and all that, and trolls are gonna be trolls and whatever. I'm not gonna hate on it, but at the same time, I respect so much that you put yourself out there and you're competing probably what I consider the toughest, regional tournament out there in the States. I'm sure Tennessee has a bunch of hammers as well, and I'm sure their local derbs are stacked with talent. Jordan Marshall, Ewan Minor, and all that. Here in Texas, we got Mark Pendergraph, Matthew Scotch, Guillermo Gonzalez, and Rolando, Rolando Nandin. I have so many that I'm offending people by not saying their names, so all of them. I'll just say all of them. You compete in like high level against high level talent, just to kind of prove, not for yourself and your followers, that hey, I do this too. Like, I'm not just doing reels and TikToks and all that. And, well, you don't have a TikTok account, which I respect as well. Talk to me about the struggles of trying to balance that, actually fishing to creating content. Because I know, God, my heart fell for you when you lost your truck and it went completely under the lake. Yeah, man, that was crazy.
The balance is not necessarily difficult, because I use every opportunity that I get on the water as an opportunity to create content.
Yeah.
And, whether that's, just, again, shooting photos while I'm out on the water fishing, or taking specific time out during the time that I'm on the water fishing to shoot very specific content.
That's the hardest thing for me, by the way. Go ahead.
Yeah. And it's something that I've done for so long. It's like muscle memory. It's become a natural part of just the way that I fish. I know that, and it's not even about obligations or anything like that. It's just, these are things that I know in the front of my mind while I'm on the water, that, hey, I should snap a few photos while I'm out here. Or, hey, I should, get some dope pictures and video for my brand partners so that they can repurpose. It's like when I'm with the Bassmaster Classic, I'm walking around the Bassmaster Classic, and there's gigantic, humongous, like 30-foot by 25-foot photos of me at the Bassmaster Classic. Same thing at ICAST. There's these huge murals of photos that we have shot, that are blown up of me in these places. There's pictures and stuff of me in stores, all across the country, all across the world, because of the, just taking that additional time out while I'm on the water fishing and shooting, you know, a couple of dope photos or some video or something like that that my brand partners can reuse and repurpose whenever they need it on their website, or put it on a flyer or in a catalog or something like that, or in a magazine somewhere. But you know, balancing that is not difficult. It's just being aware, you know. And you know, with the tournament stuff, you know, I started tournament fishing specifically, you know, the competitive. So I'm a really competitive person at heart. Anyway, I played sports and, you know, growing up, and I've always been extremely competitive. So you know, for me, you know, being a social media personality, especially in the fishing and outdoor space, you know, it's easy to fake the funk. You know, it's super, super easy to make yourself look like, you know, this freaking KVD out here when you're really nothing close to either of anyone out here. Because, you know, you see a lot of guys that are out here that, you know, again, fishing is fishing, whether you're fishing a pond, you're fishing a mud puddle, you're fishing a river, a stream, a creek, or you're fishing some gigantic lake or the ocean. Fishing is fishing, and I'm happy to see people fishing at any given time, no matter what it is. But you get a lot of guys that are out here that are, you know, and again, there's no offense to the pond pounders or anything like that, but you get guys that are out here that are fishing, you know, ponds on a regular basis, you know, loaded ponds all day long, day in and day out. And then, you know, so they put out videos over and over and over again of them fishing the same 5 or 6 ponds, you know, back and forth all day long, every single day. And, you know, every video is the same thing: hook set after hook set after hook set. Oh, giant fish. Oh, big fish here, big fish there. Hook set, hook set, hook set. Oh, man, going crazy, you know. And then they go out on a lake and they don't catch a single thing, you know. They can't even find a fish. And, you know, I didn't want to be in that group of people. You know, I didn't want to be considered one of those people when it came to fishing, you know, because I am an angler at the end of the day. I am, and I would consider myself to be a good angler, you know, one that actually can go out here and put 5 fish in the boat when it counts and when it matters. And, you know, and that was kind of the reason why I got into competitive fishing, because I wanted to go out here and I wanted to compete against other anglers that fish on a level far above what the average, you know, social media fisherman fishes on. But at the same time, I wanted to go out and, you know, solidify my skill set, you know, because that's what the competitive side of the house was for me. It was an opportunity for me to go out here and show myself that the things that I've learned, you know, from the countless, you know, over and over repetitions of me going out and fishing, you know, 1,000 different lakes across the state of Texas and lower Oklahoma and Louisiana and anywhere else in the country that I've traveled to, that I can go out on any body of water and I can put 5 fish in the boat when I need to, when I absolutely have to. And because that's what matters, you know, that's how I solidified my skill set. And by doing that and creating, you know, content and videos around that, that also showed the people that support me, that watch me, that I'm not just somebody that's out here just beating up the local neighborhood pond. Again, which there's nothing wrong with that. But I'm not that guy that's just out here doing that. I'm actually out here fishing and fishing hard, for real, for real. Going out here, I'm out here struggling. You know, I'm out here getting my teeth kicked in on the water, flipping out of my kayak, breaking rods, blowing up reels,
Losing your truck.
losing my truck, you know, all kinds of crazy stuff, you know. I mean, because that's the realities of what fishing is at the end of the day. You know, fishing is not some gigantic human highlight reel, you know, like some of these guys make it look, because you're going to have good days on the water and you're going to have horrible days on the water.
Yep.
And I've had a lot of terrible days on the water, but I've also had great days on the water. I've had days where I
Yeah.
go out here and absolutely smack them. But then I also have days where I go out here and I break every single thing that's moving. You know, I break 3, 4 rods. You know, I blow up 5, 6 reels. I blow a reel up every time I go fishing. Every time I go fishing. There's not a video that you cannot watch that is on my channel that I do not blow up a reel in. And I put that stuff in those videos for a reason, because
It's true.
it humanizes,
Yeah.
you know, the content, you know, because again, if you watch a video and every single, you know, you watch a 15-minute video and the entire video is just hook set after hook set after hook set after hook set, big fish here, big fish there, you start to build this false impression of what fishing actually is. And if you aren't actually a fisherman, you don't know anything about fishing, and you're like, okay, that looks like fun, I'm going to go out here and I'm going to go fishing. And then you go buy, you know, $50-$60 rod and reel, a combo, or you go spend $300 on a combo, whatever it is, because you see your favorite content creators using that stuff, and you go out here and you get your teeth kicked in. You have a terrible day on the water. Well, you made that
Facebook Marketplace. Here we go.
That may just ruin your entire mindset on fishing, and you'll never fish again because of that, because you went out there and it was nothing like what that person showed you it was in that video. So we show the good with the bad. We show the getting the hooks in our legs and hooks in our hands and flipping out of kayaks and tripping over stuff and rolling ankles and breaking rod tips and blowing rods and reels up, all of that stuff, because that's part of fishing. We show the days that we go out here and don't catch anything all day long, grind it out for 12 hours straight, and then at the last minute of the day you catch a 12-inch fish. We do that because that's what fishing is about. That's a part of the game. Like, it's not going to be out here every single day catching 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 pounders, 5, 6, 7 of them. It's not going to happen. It does happen, but it doesn't happen like that all the time. So, we want people to understand what fishing is really about at the end of the day, that fishing is hard. It's not easy. And you're going to have terrible days on the water. And, you just take those days with a grain of salt, and you just go out there the next time and you just try not to make the same mistakes that you made the last time. You learn from the stuff that you did the last time, and you go out here and you do better the next time, and hopefully you put more fish in the boat when you do so.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Brandon, I've had you for over an hour, and I really do appreciate the time. Thankfully, the weather hold up. I was kind of worried we weren't going to be able to do this because I had to hail here while we were going live. I'm like, I don't know if my Wi-Fi is going to withstand this bad weather, but we made it through. So I appreciate you, first of all, for coming to the show and for everything you do for the kayak fishing community, everything you do for me personally, helping me, kind of navigate through social media and reminding me, what it is, that it's not about the followers. It's about just expressing yourself in a way that is uplifting to other people that are going to watch your reels, regardless if it's 5 people or if it's 5,000 people. So I really do appreciate what you do in the content. And before we let you go, I want to give you a shout out. I want to give you a chance to do your shout outs. Where can people follow you, and what brand partners you want to give shout out?
Yeah, man, I just, want to say thank you. Thank you, Armando, for having me on the podcast. As always, man, I love coming over and hanging out with you, man. Shouts out to everybody that rocks with the gang. I really appreciate you guys and gals out there.
Like this? Is it like this?
Gang, you know what it is. And
something like that.
But you can follow me basically everywhere. That Bass Fishing Dude. You can check out my website, thatbassfishingdude.com. Grab you a t-shirt or a hoodie if you like. And if you want, you can make a donation to Austin's Autistic Adventures if you want to support the autism campaign and not buy a t-shirt. But again, the simplest form of support is just share the campaign. If you follow me on social, you'll see me sharing the campaign all day in and out. Or you can jump on the website, grab the link, and just post and share wherever. But yeah, man, I really appreciate everybody that rocks with me, all the sponsors and all my partners that take good care of me and my family and my wife, everybody like that. So yeah, that's about it, man. Catch you on the next one.
And again, appreciate you coming in. For those out there that are tuning, we really appreciate you tuning in. If you're watching on the live show, thank you for watching. If you are listening on our MP3 formats, feel free to give us a 5-star reviews on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. It does really help out the growth of the podcast. And remember, you can follow me on social media on the Bass Kayak and Beers, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. Have a great day, everyone. If you're going to be on the water, wear your PFDs. If you're going to have a couple of beers, just make sure you drink responsibly. Make sure you make it back home to your loved ones. Peace out, everyone. Have a great day.